Hello and welcome to the Barrow. I am the Barrowway, and tonight we'll be doing episode 3 of this career in Kerbal Space Program. If you watched last time, we got into orbit and did a rather unsafe but successful landing. Today we're going to check and see what our new missions are and go from there. So going into mission control, I see that we do have an Explore the Moon, which just basically says fly by the moon and gather some data. I can do that, so I'm going to accept that one. I don't have anything else accepted, so let's see if there's anything else here to get something simple. Haul a heat shield into flight. Just have a heat shield, but you have to be flying very fast at a low altitude, so no. Some testing. I'm not hard up for money at the moment, so we'll skip that. So I'm just going to go ahead and just have only the Explore the Moon mission. So I did get some science last time. I have 77.3 science to spend. So let's see what I want to spend it on. I have enough to buy one of these things here. So if I go to basic science, it'll give me batteries and a better antenna. And that's always good when you're trying to go to the moon, or if you're going to hang out at the moon at least, because you want to be able to talk and not lose control if at all possible. Flight control I'm not so worried about yet. Aviation not yet, though if I do get the aviation, I could go over to the aviation place, to the hangar, and build a plane and kind of cruise around and get some science. Might do that next. Here is some struts, and really that might pay off because I didn't have struts last time and my ship was very wobbly. So I'm tempted to go there. And here I have better tanks and the Terrier engine. And the Terrier engine is very good in that it works well in vacuum. So actually, though I know my ship is going to be wobbly without those struts, I'm going to go ahead and grab advanced rocketry. Now I only have 32 left. That's not going to be enough to do anything right now. I'm going to go back into the vehicle assembly building, and we will grab a ship. All right, let's go ahead and pull out Orbiter 1. And I'm going to take everything. Just going to use the top part so I don't have to build that again at the moment. And that should be good. There's some science. Let's go ahead and open that up and get a little bit more science in there, so I can do multiple experiments while I'm out at the moon. I'll grab another press barometer. I'll put another mystery goo containment unit in there. There we go. And let me see. Another thermometer. Close those doors, and we should be good to go. All right, so that's a decent vehicle. I don't think I have any electrical at all, so I might be having some problems. I don't have batteries. I think I may have made a mistake there without getting the batteries. We'll see. Go ahead and save this as Moon 1. And we'll strap some of these new tanks on there. Actually, I'm going to take that and I'm going to get this new engine, the Terrier, and put it right at the bottom of that. And that's what's going to get me to the moon and back if things work out well. We'll decouple that. Alright, so we have a stage. And everything seems to be staged properly. So now let's build a rocket to get it into space. Stack 6 of those on top of each other and stick a swivel at the bottom of it, and what do I get? A very low thruster weight ratio. So it doesn't really have the capability of lifting itself, though it has a lot of delta V. I could add to that though by doing just like I did in the last one and adding like 4 outer rockets to propel it upward and outward. So let's see if that'll work. So grab a decoupler. I'm going to use 4 of these. So that'll be what those side rockets look like. Alright, so I grab it by the decoupler, set the symmetry to 4, and strap it on the side. Very good. I didn't put any kind of aerodynamics on it, but I'll go ahead and do that now. And I really wish I did have those struts, because this is going to be a shaky mess. I will put fins on it though, to at least have some control while flying upwards and outwards. Alright, so let's see what I've got. I've got 4 rockets at the bottom and a central rocket. I've got 4 decouplers that'll throw off those side rockets, and then a coupler to separate the entire thing from the one that goes to the moon. That rocket to push that one to the moon and back, and decoupler when I get back, and a parachute to land. Hopefully that's enough. Alright, let's call this Moon 1, save it as Moon 1, and see if we can actually make this work. This looks pretty iffy. It's already wobbly just standing there. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I think I need to find a way to find 30-something science to get those struts, because this is going to be a scary ride. Jebediah, hold on. Now when I start maneuvering, it is going to be bouncy. I'm going to go a little faster before I start moving. I'm just going to lean it over. Lean it over without tapping it. Just lean it and hold it. Alright, so far not bad. It wasn't as wobbly as I thought it could be. Get above this line here, I'm going to lean it over a little more. Good, and we still have plenty of fuel. So here shortly I should lean it over to 45 and start really leaning it over the more that I want to get to. There we go. Trying to get to 45 degrees. Just kind of ride that until we get above 70. Alright, that got us up pretty smoothly, so I'm not going to complain about that. I just am worried without batteries and without any kind of radio, if I'll lose control or not. All right, so I'm just going to I'm getting pretty high up, getting close to leaving the atmosphere, so I'm going to go ahead and lean this over so that when I get to the right point at about 45 seconds from the apoapsis, I'm going to kick the engines back in and see if I can circularize an orbit. All right, I'm pointing generally in the right direction now. Now all I got to do is I'll kind of fast forward to 45 seconds from the apoapsis. There we go, 48, 47, 46, 45. Kick in the engines again. They're going to stop burning in just a moment. I stage them off. Point this straight forward and wait for this to go positive. All right, I am now in orbit, and not a bad orbit either. Circularized pretty good. Now I haven't upgraded any of the systems, so I don't have any maneuver nodes or anything of that nature. Now I just kind of have to manually guess which way to go towards the moon. And I do know that if you are looking out and you can see the moon right there, so about this spot right here where you can start to see the moon, that's the spot to go. So I'm going to use my warp to get us around to we're about to that point, and then we'll go to the get off of the map and go to the visual mode so we can kind of see when the moon comes into our view. Right now it's not anywhere close. It's going to swing around soon though. There it is. All right, see, it's going to swing around soon. So I'm going to get out of map mode. Go ahead and start pointing this forwards. Prograde. Got to get my terminology right. So it won't be too long until the moon is swinging into my view. It's quiet up here in space. I still have 38 seconds of fuel left in this stage. All right, so we're pointing in the general right direction now. And we'll just kind of, I'll zoom or I'll warp the time just a little faster to see until the moon comes around into view. There it is. All right, so I'm going to point this in the right direction. I'm going to go ahead and get back into map view. Come on, it's not pointing in the right direction anymore, and I'm going to go ahead and hit Z. And we are going to kick in the gas. So now we can see our trajectory. The apoapsis is pushing away from the planet and heading towards an intercept with the moon. All right, I'm just gonna get it till it kind of touches that line, and it ought to be good. That should put us at an intercept with the moon. Everything looks good. I don't have any antennas or anything of that nature, and this may be a problem. But if it is, I'm Well, we'll decide what to do then. In the meantime, let's just wait. I'm going to pull this down here. Our electrical charge is 49.99 of 50. That will fade, and I don't have batteries, but it will recharge as I fire my engines. So let's go ahead and use time warp and get us out. I'm not using any electricity. So we're doing okay in electricity. That's the one thing I was worried about. The other thing I was worried about was, of course, getting into the shadow of the moon and not having communication with Command Central or Mission Control. And if that happens, we'll just wait until we get out of the shadow of the moon. So I'm just going to warp it a little faster, and we ought to get within. There we are. Now we're definitely within the influence of the moon now. All right, but we are going to hit the moon like this. So really, let's take a look. We have lots of time until we hit the moon. Let me get it. Let me stop warping, or I'll hit the moon faster. So now I think I need to point. Where's the moon? I need to point. Yeah, that's where I need to point. So I think if I point like this to, what is that? Whatever that symbol stands for, and fire my engine, it ought to open that up. And push that slowly through the moon and eventually out the other side, so I'm not actually going to hit the moon. Still have plenty of fuel left. All right, I'm not going to hit the moon anymore. Let's get it to about 20,000. I have successfully made an encounter with the moon and am not going to die by slamming into it, which is a positive. I'll swing by the moon and end up back in an orbit of Kerbal once I exit this point here. So maybe I could flatten that out a little bit. And the way to flatten that out would be to push down. And so let me see here. Now I think I would want to, no, it seems, I still have 21 seconds of fuel here, and this is a little clumsy, but with all that fuel in it, I don't want to waste that. It's terrible that I don't know well, I was thinking I would push towards this marker right here, but that actually is going to push it up. So I think I have to go to the opposite marker of this one. I said in my comments, and I've said before, that I am obviously an amateur at this, don't know exactly what I'm doing, but I have a general idea. So I don't know the terminology yet. I'm still learning that, or I don't remember the terminology. So I'm thinking that if I point at this ought to flatten out that circle around the moon, so it kind of lines up more with the orbit I originally had with Kerbal. Is it changing it at all? It is. Look at that. Oh, and I think I ran out of fuel on that stage. I did. I'm going to go ahead and I have a minute 52 at full blast. I'm just going to barely tap it though. I'm going to flatten that out slowly. I have 16 minutes with my fuel being used this lightly. There we go. It's going to flatten that orbit out. I feel pretty good about that. And that's a pretty good intercept right there. Now, one thing I did not have to have to succeed at this mission was an orbit. I think I've already succeeded. Yep, fly by the moon. Now I just need to gather some data. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's do a crew report. 10 science, nice. Let's do an EVA report. 16 science, very nice. Go ahead and get back in, Jebediah. Open up the doors of the service bay and we'll see what kind of science I have in there. I'll log the temperature right here. That's 16 science, very nice. Maybe I'll take another temperature log and I get 16 more science, very nice. I'll do the same thing with pressure barometer, 24 science. I'll use the mystery goo. I always call it moon goo, but I know it's mystery goo. All right, so if I get all this home, I just got a lot of science. So I've got lots of fuel left. I've got a good encounter with the moon here. And I've got an escape trajectory, so it's just an encounter. So let's go ahead and just let that play through. I'm going to speed up time with the time warp, zip past the moon, and get back into orbit. All right, look at that. All right, so now I'm at 11 million miles from the planet, but I've got a 207,000 meter periapsis, which is amazing because now I can just go back there, pull that circle in closer so that I'm not going quite so super fast at the periapsis here. Though this, of course, would be the slowest point of this route, I think, or maybe the fastest point. I'll have to think about that. But regardless, what I'm going to do now is wait, is come here, and then tighten that circle up, and then use my engines to drag myself down into the atmosphere again. So let's use time warp to get me here. All right, now I'm at the periapsis, and if I point this rocket now, prograde, come on. I didn't have Jebediah in control, but now we get his expertise here. I go prograde, nope, retrograde, which means I'm pointing backwards. That'll slow my ship down. It'll pull that apoapsis back to the planet. I have a minute and 44 seconds, so let's burn like 44 seconds of fuel and see how, if it brings that apoapsis, how close that brings that in. I'm going to go ahead and just kick in the gas. We're pointing backwards. Here we go. I'd love to pull that in so that this flips, and then we'll try to land as close to the space station as possible. Minute 25 fuel left. 16. This is coming in nicely. When this flips, then I'll start working on choosing my landing spot. Very good. Oh, I already drug that in to the planet closer than I thought it was going to. I can push it back out if I need to, because I'd like to land by the space station. Oh, I can do that. Heck, I'm going to land by the space station. So by the, it's not the space station, by the space program center, the space center. So basically, I'm just going to keep burning until this drops to about right there. All right, I'm going to land in the ocean just past the space station. Past the space center. All right. Let's go ahead and I'm going to, where is the planet? There it is. I'm going to kind of point this like this just to get it out of my way. Oh, turn this off so it doesn't, so Jebediah doesn't keep pointing it where he wants to go. And I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. That'll burn up in the atmosphere and crash somewhere. Now I'm going to tell Jebediah, point the rear end of this thing towards the direction we're going. And let's keep it up until we land. As soon as it hits 70,000, the warp will go back to 1. And now I'll just warp until it starts heating up as I push through the atmosphere. I'm going at about 2300, which is pretty normal, not super horribly fast. Let's just look at the map. I just went past the Space Center. My surface speed is very good. I'm at 13,000 meters. I'll warp to get about 10,000 meters, and I'll pop that parachute. Then I'll go ahead and warp the time until I get to about 1,000 meters. Watch the parachute open. And warp to I land. All right, so 50 meters and we will be landed back on the planet after having gone past the moon. Have enough electrical charge left, never have batteries, never lost control. Go ahead and recover that. Now that was a good haul. You get 159 science total now, and we only had like 23 left over, so that was 120, 130 science that we gained there. Fantastic. We now have 439,000 rocket money, and that was a really good haul. So now let's go see what our mission control says it would like us to do next. We could explore Kerbal, and that would be rendezvous 2 vessels in orbit of Kerbal. Or we can do some more tests. Well, we have enough science now that I think exploring Kerbal is something we can definitely do. Valentine is another astronaut who's just been wanting to fly for a while now. So I was thinking if I put her in space and then use Jebediah to go up and rendezvous with her and then bring them both back, that would meet the requirements for this mission. and would give me the practice I need for rendezvousing vessels. It's something that I know how to do, but I seem to always forget how to finesse it, and usually go back and forth clumsily for 5 or 10 minutes until I get it right. So you'll get to witness that if you're watching this. So I'm going to go ahead and accept that mission. And I'm going to say that's enough for this one. So episode 3 is successful. We explored the moon and made it back safely in one piece. And we now have enough science now that I'm sure that next time we drop into research and development, we can get a lot of good stuff to add to our rockets. So until next time, have a great one, and we'll see you soon. Bye.